All right.
Hey, we're back.
We're back.
Hey, it's time. It's time. We got the
Man, I like the shades.
real estate happy hour going on, man. And listen. The cherry wheat Sam Adams. If I'm going to make an endorsement right now.
Really good. I don't even like cherries
It's
that much,
good.
but I like cherry Coke, so I like
good.
cherry beer.
It's good.
Hey,
So
put
we
on Yacht Rock.
We got the yacht rock going on. Everybody loves it, man. If you haven't tried it yet, you're missing out.
I mean, it'll make you
You're
cry,
missing
some
out.
of them.
You're missing. So,
Love it. Did you play some Yacht Rock at the beach?
Oh, yeah, all the time. Kids are, I don't know if they're tired of it or, no, they love it.
They
Guys in the
didn't
office.
just love it?
Yeah, guys in the office, I'm sharing it with them.
Absolutely.
Does it make you feel old? Nah.
No, because
at all.
it's quality music. You know.
Man, we've got.
Hey, Jose?
Listen, we got some. So we got some vacation highlights.
Yeah, how'd that go?
We're going to talk about
yeah.
that. We're going to talk about lemonade stand.
Lemonade
Oh, my
stand.
God.
Man, people have lost their minds.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Baby boomers won't sell their homes. We've
Yep.
got wire fraud. Big problem. Big problem. You got to listen in.
Yeah, it's a no-no.
Man, you guys got to do the right thing here. What else we got? Consumer Reports, HVAC. So let's roll.
Yeah, let's talk about
Okay.
it, and we may not get to the HVAC, but because we got so much stuff on the front end here, so wanted to just talk to you, man. Hey, I talked to you a few weeks ago about flying Frontier Airlines out of Birmingham. They suck. There is no other word. Don't do it. Don't ever do it.
Man, I saw a post on Facebook. Somebody was asking about Frontier. I was like, "You serious? I've never." I
Hey,
didn't know.
man, let me just tell you this. I was flying from here to Portland, Oregon. Flew from here to Denver. That's 3.5 hours. Then another 2 hours. The seats don't recline.
Wow.
Don't even recline. And then they're about as thin as a piece of paper.
Jeez.
And then, I mean, if you're already, fired up, literally, ladies coming down asking, like, first of all, she's asking if you want food, but then it's like $9 for this, $8 for that. I mean, I'm telling you, it was awful.
50 cents to use the
I
restroom.
now know why. Hey, I thought you were going to have to deposit a quarter. The guy next to me even said it.
Quarter per flush.
Absolutely. And then we're delayed. And by the way, here's what was really funny was we saw this one flight attendant. I mean, come on. Now, if I'm flying an airline and I'm about to crash, I don't want to see nothing wrong with tattoos. I'm not saying it. But I don't want to see Tweety Bird popping out right here and here on my airline. I'm just saying.
It sounds like she might have been.
I mean, I'm just telling. No, I'm just saying that
might be trying to hit on you.
I'm just telling you. I got what I paid for though. $150. Not for that. I mean for the airline.
Big baller here, man. I tell you, listen. Little highlights from last week. Okay, so went down to the beach, right?
Where was that? Rosemary.
We stayed at
Seacrest.
Seacrest. Now, if anybody's familiar with 30A, I know this is.
Hey, Melissa.
I know this is famous, right? Or trendy, right? Trendy, whatever the word.
It's trendy.
30A. It's weird. It's a bunch of houses that are not on the beach. So you have like a little walk to the beach, or you don't have a view of the beach, which was kind of tough.
We know
for
it's
us.
over there.
Yeah, it was kind of tough for us because you don't wake up and have a cup of coffee, sit on the balcony.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And look at the beach. So
What do you look at?
it was a little weird. It's really nice. It's a nice area. Okay, don't get me wrong, but it's just
Hey,
a little
Carrie.
different than having a cup of coffee, looking at the.
Yeah, so you're
seeing
looking at the
dolphins
guy
jump.
mowing the grass.
No, actually, we were on the pool, so we
that's good.
Kind of saw the pool house and
That's
some
good.
other houses.
Absolutely.
It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah,
Had fun.
Michael Bruno in the house.
Bruno's in.
Man,
Lemonade stand.
did you hear this story?
I can't believe it.
It is getting ridiculous. If you didn't know, what's happening around the country is that you have to think that adults are calling into the cities, to the police, because children have the audacity
Somebody
to
is
set up a
reporting.
table and have a lemonade stand.
Somebody's reporting lemonade stands. What have we gotten to? How much money are they really raising that they're threatening
Children.
you or whatever you got going on where you got to call and report? And I think these fines are like $300 to $500.
It's expensive, but
Wait, why do you even have to have a permit for a lemonade
they're
stand?
selling lemonade for God's sakes. There's nothing wrong with lemonade.
50 cents a pop.
That's right.
How much rev?
Hey, I'm just telling you. If you're listen, the world's coming to an end if this one, but this has a good ending, doesn't it?
Yep, it
What-
does.
what happened?
Who was it stepped in?
Country Time
Country
Lemonade.
Time Lemonade stepped in. They came up with an account with $60,000 in it to pay these fines. I think. How do you submit? You submit.
You
the
submit it.
information?
You parents have to submit an image of the child's fine or the permit that they actually buy, so you can go ahead and get one. And then they want a description in the words of the child why the lemonade stand's important to them, and they'll reimburse the full price of that. But here's where
crazy.
This is the nuttiest thing, and this is why I love it when capitalism and marketing works. So what they did was they sent a video about this, and they said, for every retweet we get, we will donate $1 more to the fund. And as of Tuesday, they had 93,000
That's awesome.
more retweets.
Well, Bruno said, what if they start doing mortgages? I'm going to find the lemonade stands, and I'm going to get some cups that have my phone number on there, so I can piggyback off of that illegal business to get some marketing.
That's correct. And quite frankly, some of the kids, they have common sense.
Because it's offensive.
It's offensive. That's
It's
right.
offensive.
Oh, the koozie. Where's the koozie?
I know.
The Trey Favor koozie.
Oh, man.
Is he ordering more?
He's got to be.
I mean,
I keep taking them.
Well, I put it on Ben's credit card if I were him.
Man, what's next? Credit file. Protect your credit file. Huh?
Absolutely. Now, in case anybody didn't know, we've talked about credit, the importance of protecting that credit report for so many reasons, because your credit report is so vital to the mortgage process, but also your homeowner's insurance and just a myriad of other things.
And so many people don't know what's on their credit report. I would say go to freecreditreport.com.
Annual credit report.
Or
free.
Annualcreditreport.com. Credit Karma, I know I don't love their scoring models because they're different than ours. That's fine, though. Anything that will help you at least monitor what's on your credit. You got to do that.
Absolutely. And, what Donald Trump signed a bill, it was called the Economic Growth, Regulatory, and Consumer Protection Act on May 24th. And so starting this summer, you're going to be able to freeze and what we call thaw your credit file with each of the bureaus free of charge. Before now, it's cost about $10.
Yeah, Brian, come on in.
Yeah, and I think he's already got his computer. Okay. But anyway, so you're going to be able to freeze and thaw that credit file. Now, the other thing that's really important, and I've been thinking about this for a while, I mean, you have kids too, is that parents are also going to have the ability to freeze a child's credit even if they don't have a credit file with the bureaus.
I thought that was interesting. They said to create a credit file to freeze it, right?
Yes, because what's happening is that if for some reason somebody could actually establish credit and create one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this was vital.
They could steal their identity and start making or establishing credit with that stolen identity of a 16-year-old, let's say, before
there's no
they
question.
even...
This is real important because what was happening, remember, this database, these Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, all of them, it's kind of dirty what they've done. They've built a dossier, to use the Trump lingo, the Russia thing. They built a dossier on you, and guess what permission you gave them? None. Yeah. You never gave permission to do it. So Congress made the right decision here, and what they did was they basically said, it's not especially fair to these children who can't even take out credit. That's what I love. I said the fact that some kids have credit at that age.
Yeah.
Like, what were they doing?
Yeah, and because you have to be 18 or 19 to even get a credit card. I think most of them are 19 years old.
Yeah, in fact, you have to. I believe federal law requires them to, as long as credit or they have nothing negative against them, to give them a credit card in the last, maybe your junior or senior year now. It's a law because what was happening was kids were coming out and nothing.
Yeah.
Now the credit line's a different story. Kimberly, it's Benefield. How are you? She's got Dolly Parton hair, by the way. I love it.
Love it.
I love Dolly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who doesn't love her? But anyway.
I haven't seen Kimberly in a while.
Absolutely.
Good to see you.
One thing that I want to stress here is that if you're using any of these protection services, like LifeLock, those type of things, they're not really protecting you. They're notifying you when there is a problem, and sure, they'll come in with some insurance and all that. The only true way to stop people from opening lines of credit, if David pulls your credit and you're trying to get a mortgage, he is going to be unable to do so if it's frozen.
Yes.
It's going to be impossible. Unlike with LifeLock, he could still do it, but...
Yeah, if it's frozen, then you're going to have to call and get it unfrozen, and then I have to call my bureau and tell them to update it after you've unfrozen your report. So, it's a little bit of a hassle, not really that big of a deal on my end. But
Alvin Jefferson, how are you, sir?
Flag
Day.
I usually tell people to check in on their own personal credit at least once every 12 months, once every 6 months would be great. Just So you can see what's being reported. You can see what's on there. I know a lot of credit cards, a lot of bank accounts now have
Yeah,
the
Credit
feature.
Karma. I like Credit Karma.
Mint is one that I use that tracks everything. It's got credit card balances, it's got loan balances, it's got 401k, checking, savings accounts. So it's got everything in there, and it also has a feature that'll let you check your credit report and things like that.
And it's fairly cumbersome. Let's be real. I mean, if you're opening a lot of lines of credit, it's going to be tough because you're going to have to thaw, unthaw.
And here I'm not talking about using these services to monitor your score. Okay,
That's right.
The score is great, but it really doesn't matter what score you're getting from those consumer services. I'm only bringing this up to say what is on your report, what is in there, what's reporting, what trade lines are on there, are there any new credit lines getting opened, what are the balances, are there collections, things like that.
Well, absolutely, and I it's one of those things where it's just nice that they're finally coming around because to me it's just something wrong with the idea that they can build a dossier and, by the way, become a gazillion-dollar company off of information you never gave them permission to collect.
Man, you talk about a monopoly. These credit companies.
Absolutely. And we got to find it. And the good news is the banks and everybody are vigorously trying to find new ways in which to verify your creditworthiness.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see some new things come down the pipe. Now, next thing, did you know, by the way, the federal government doesn't really want you to know that if you have an FHA mortgage, if you've taken one out since 1983, a HUD FHA, that had upfront mortgage insurance, you may be owed a refund from the federal government. Now, one of the big problems I have is they're not telling people proactively because they say, well, we don't know where they are. Well, they're not trying to find where you are. Now, these are the same people that have access to your tax returns.
Now, what are these refunds for?
These are for stuff that was paid upfront PMI, and you can explain about that. You paid a lump sum.
Yeah, you always pay a lump sum up front of mortgage insurance on an FHA loan, and you also pay monthly.
Was there excess here, you think?
Now, typically when you refinance it, it's there's a portion of that up front that is refundable. But that's, to my understanding, in a refinance situation, that's usually, I think it diminishes after 6 or 7 years, goes away. It's usually in the first 2, 3, 4 years where you get a decent amount back. You get a credit back for part of that up front.
Well, and what ends up happening here is that you could never have defaulted. And well, here's what's really funny. They put a statute of limitations. They owe you the money. Don't tell you. And they put a 6-year statute of limitations. Now, that's what I call just taking care of daddy.
That's right.
No one will ever know. And I looked here. I looked for everybody I know, but it's hard to find somebody I know specifically.
So you looked for them?
I did.
They didn't owe me any money?
I did, but I took your money.
God.
I put my address.
Man. Now, I'll tell you this. FHA might be giving them a hard time, but some of these loans, I mean, they're lenient on credit. They allow some lower credit scores. The fees are higher, but they do allow home ownership. I don't think they're quite as
competitive.
No, predatory.
Okay. That's right, because they're going to have certain stopgaps in place.
They're not near as predatory as
Absolutely.
we've seen in the past. I mean, the fees are higher, but they do allow you to borrow more money. So,
well, one thing, we're going to link down below a link after we get done here, a link to the website. Just go on and check. In fact, some of the loan officers here, if you know anybody that got one, just put some names in there. It's interesting. You can go and tell them the state, and they'll tell you if you proactively go get it. But it really just chaps me that they would not tell you and then go, hey, 6 years. Sorry, our money now.
Right. Well, listen, interest rates this week, average on a 30-year fixed, Freddie Mac Mortgage Market Survey is the website that I'm looking at here, is 4.62% on a 30-year mortgage. On a 15 is 4.07%.
07? What in the world does that mean?
Well, they just average it.
Oh,
they average it over.
I got to say, because y'all use all these terms that the rest of us need to 4.07.
Yeah.
Just give me 4.
That's not a real rate, but that's just an average on rates that are delivered. Okay, it's funny. I did see when I was reading the Lemonade Stand article today, I saw an ad from Lending Tree, and the rates were ridiculous, and I was like, man.
Oh yeah, remember we've talked about. What are we talking about?
They're
Lending Tree and that one with
now.
What about the ones with a rocket? Right, a lot of it's teasers.
Yeah, same thing. They want to get the phones to ring, and then
absolutely,
as soon as you call, Actually, if you submit your information, you're going to get blown up.
You're going to get blown up by multiple people.
Yeah.
So local's always better. I mean, by far. It's not even close.
And the mortgage business is competitive. Okay, it's not like they have any secret link to money. They don't have a secret link to Wall Street.
That's right.
Where they can deliver these unbelievably lower rates.
And I can tell you, when I was a closing attorney, it was harder to deal because they didn't understand local custom. When I talk about local custom, I mean who pays for what gets recorded. In fact, I had the one that has a rocket, without naming names, one time since I've been in practicing real estate in the last 12 years, tell me, where are we gonna put the deed of trust? There's only one problem here. We're not a deed of trust state. We are a mortgage state. If he wants to go to Mississippi, I guess he can do that. Yeah. But the very fact that he doesn't know the bare bones tells me everything.
And those are problems that you'll run into all the time. We've got escrow states in other parts of the country that do things completely differently. We're an attorney state here, so everybody comes together, sits around the table. That people think we're weird for doing that.
We're very hospitable in Alabama.
But look, if you deal with a local lender, we know how things are done here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody's got to be competitive. It's a competitive game. This year has been super competitive. A lot of people really getting aggressive on the interest rates because rates are rising.
Well,
so when we talk to somebody and I tell them that the interest rate's 4.75, obviously they don't want to believe that. So what do you want to do? They want to shop it. They want to call somebody else. They want to see what's going on. So all of that stuff is.
Let me say this: I have been working with y'all since early 2007. I'm not just David. I mean, I've worked with Mortgage Bank for a long time. The biggest difference, sure, you can get a rate that's the same from a lot of things. The question is, are you going to actually be able to close the loan? This is not a pitch for them, by the way. This is talking about when you're talking about these guys from out of state versus the guys locally. Here's the thing: we as agents and you as a consumer live amongst these people, right?
Yeah.
If you don't do your job, word of mouth spreads, you don't close, it gets to be that big of a deal because you have movers lined up. You have all this stuff down the line.
Yeah, you got all this stuff going on, and you don't know there's a problem until it's too late. Until it's a week before closing, and then the loan officer says I missed something or something's gone wrong or underwriting came back with this or mortgage insurance company has a problem with this. And then all of a sudden, I got to call the movers. Now the kids are upset. Now, how do I move my money around?
Absolutely.
I mean, there's just so many things that can happen.
Yeah.
And we take liability. The problem is you don't find out there's a problem until it's too late.
You talk about taking responsibility.
With a lot of other mortgage companies.
The Rockets and these other mortgage issues, they never take. You talk about taking responsibility. That's important too. I want my loan officer, whoever it is locally, to go, I'm going to take the burden on myself.
They got to take responsibility. Say, I'm getting this done.
It may be that underwriter, but I don't give two hoots. Either does my client.
Yeah.
So that's one good reason. Hey, Albie, how are you?
If anything happens, it's my fault. And we got to fix it,
That is great. Your whole family told me that, right? It's your fault if it's...
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
That's not only at work, huh?
Oh, no. It's not home.
Good stuff. All right, so baby boomers, huh? What are we,
There's a story, out of CBS MarketWatch.com, which I check into occasionally. Of course, everybody knows I like the stock market. By the way, if you were listening to my stock picks...
Hey, Albie.
If you were listening to my stock picks, Carvana, you'd have made money. WWE, whoa, you doubled. So I got Carvana there.
RCL's
and then,
doing good again.
Coming back. It went down for no reason. So I guess I missed, but I'm coming back. So anyway, let's talk about the story from CBS Market Watch that talked about why we're finding that baby boomers are causing fluctuations in the inventory. And if everybody knows, it was one of the biggest generations we had.
They won't let them go.
They're not getting rid of their houses.
Yeah.
And what this article talks about is they found that they took a survey and found 85% of all baby boomers had no plan to move anytime soon, whereas 59% of millennials did plan. The only problem is that millennials want to go somewhere, and they typically want to go into the bigger houses.
Man, and I tell you, right now we have an inventory problem that's kind of got the market locked up. It's kind of like a traffic jam, right? And as soon as that one lane lets go, everything moves, right? And that's what's going to happen. We're going to start getting some houses on the market. We're going to start getting some people to list their houses, and then this whole thing's going to unlock, and it's going to be crazy for a little while.
Well, one reason is these folks, and we're going to go into 3 reasons why they're not moving, but they're not moving. It's causing an inventory crunch, but at the same time, they don't want to go be buying into a high price, low inventory environment that we're in. So they don't want to be the victim, right? They're going to get a lot for their house, technically.
Now, is that because they're buying down?
Well, they typically at age 70 have typically in the past, and all the projections were that they would be buying down, and they're not.
Because the higher price range, up over 400,000, 500,000, 600,000, that we're not having the inventory problems there.
Correct, but what's happening is, and one of the reasons, and it just takes us right into why is this happening, is that these folks are working longer, and they're working. First of all, we've talked about the savings rate in America is abysmal.
Yeah, that is it.
Say there you go. They're buying homes at 93 and 92. They're normally gone.
Listen, and what he just said was they are staying in the homes longer, right? Because they're not saving money.
They're not saving.
Or no, I'm sorry. You said they're working longer.
They're working longer because
they're
they
having to work longer because they're not saving. We've talked about saving money and living on a budget, and
Think about what the Labor
away
Department
all the time.
said. It said that Americans over 65 are the fastest growing segment of the American workforce. I had no idea that was over. It's the fastest growing segment. Overall, the workforce is forecasted to increase over the next 6 years at a 5% rate. In other words, the general workforce is going to grow at 5%. Over 65 growth rate, 55%, which means people haven't saved enough money. They got to stay working. And this should be a wake-up call to our generation, to the Gen X, Gen Y. And we talked about it being a lack of savings, but also a lack of health problems. They're able to work. They don't have no money.
Yeah.
They're living on love.
And they're living longer.
And
so that's why their retirement funds are not lasting long enough. That's why they're needing to work longer, right?
Absolutely. I mean, because what's funny is as I get older, everybody looks younger at 65.
Right?
I mean, I'm like, dude, they look young now.
Yeah. When you were 30, you're like, damn, 65's old, huh?
Yeah. I mean, wait, you're 48, so let's say not yet. The other reason is they are starting to downsize instead of 70. They're going because remember the oldest baby boomer is about 72 now, right? So in their early 80s is when most folks are losing their capacity for autonomous living, and so at age 80 they're starting to downsize. Which means, why is that important? If the oldest baby boomer now is 72, we have 10 more years of them not moving on average.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a problem because we have neighborhoods here like Greystone over here,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They have a ton of the big houses that back there that otherwise could move. But the problem is we don't have builders that are replacing those houses.
Yeah.
Right? So the inventory is going to be staying the same and we're not going to be able to get them out of there. The other problem was that it's going to cause inventory and market shifts. Right? Because where are these move-up buyers going to go? And remember, that's what moves our market are move-up buyers. Right? I mean, we need move-ups always because then we boomerang back and we downsize the older folks into that and then we ship them off to the home. But they get free wine at the place right over here. But anyway.
Anyway, I digress.
And then this is the best reason, isn't it? Tell us the third reason.
The third reason that baby boomers are not selling their home because the kids are still in the home.
You will not believe this statistic.
Isn't this amazing?
Read that statistic. Mitchell Miller, this is not you, though.
1/3 of adult children between 18 and 34 are living with their parents.
Who are these people? It's just an unbelievable number. Isn't it? I mean,
33%.
I mean,
Man.
I love my parents.
18
I don't know
to
if
34.
I want to really be living with them. They keep it too
Man.
hot anyway in there.
But that makes it tougher to downsize and sell, right? Because you've got
Two
and
reasons,
your
right?
kids and
well, there's two reasons there. The fact is, again, your kids living at home for a reason. They don't have everything. It's not that they're bad or anything, but they're just not operating at full capacity economically, right? They obviously have a reason they're living at home. It's not bad.
And if they're still living at home, they're probably not doing any of the savings and
That's right.
putting money away that is going to avoid the situation when they get.
Correct. And so
Right.
so if you were to sell, what is that parent really doing? They're putting their child into a high rent, high price if they bought environment. So that's only hurting the child too. So they go, you know what? We're going to wait till they're gone before
And
we
they
get
can't
in.
really afford to downsize because they still need the room because their kids are living there.
Yeah. It just baffles me that a third of all kids that age.
Right.
Well, so you got one in Boston,
Nope.
so she'll be coming back. Let's see, 3 more years. Mm-hmm. So if she's watching, Taylor, your dad will leave the light on for you.
Yeah, that's a Motel 6.
And your brother, hey, her brother will be waiting too.
Hey, listen, one of the biggest things that I read last week while I was out of town, wire fraud. All right, you guys really need to pay attention to this. Wire fraud is crazy this year in the real estate business. Okay, we see it all the time. Obviously, I know a lot of real estate agents, so I'm probably on a lot of mailing lists. So when email lists get hacked, I'll get,
I bet she does.
Bruno is between 18 and 34, so he is definitely...
His boxers and briefs get done by mama.
His boxers and briefs are between 18 and 34.
Years
just
old.
Kidding. So, wire fraud. Listen, we've got to pay attention to this. In 2018, $3 billion in the first 4 months of 18. $1 billion in 9 months.
Are you saying got parted from somebody?
Yes. $3 billion was lost in wire fraud in the first 4 months of 2018.
That's wild.
It has really gotten big. So this is what happens. These hackers will hack into email addresses.
Yep. They know that the realtor's there.
They know the realtor,
Yep.
the mortgage, the title. They'll hack into these different, and they'll send an email to the borrower.
Because they read through your email, obviously, to find out.
Yeah. With
Something.
the wiring instructions.
With the wiring instructions.
The borrower will not verify, call anybody, and just send the money.
Yeah, it's a great business plan.
It's unbelievable. And a lot of attorneys now have moved to requesting wires for the money instead of
They're actually going
cashier's
in.
checks.
Absolutely. They're not proactively telling you to send. They're saying, we'll ask.
Yeah, which I think we need to move back to cashier's checks. I feel like it's harder to pull off the fraud with cashier's checks, but I'm not an expert.
Oh, my favorite closing as a closing attorney was when the guy walked in with like $30,000 in cash.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what do you want me to do with this?
That's perfect. But guys, you as a buyer, doing any of this, you need to get the wiring instructions and get somebody on the phone to verify them.
Well,
you got to call the attorney.
Call
and
the person that
verify them.
sent it to you. Like if you get your
Call
agent,
the person you're sending the money to.
that too. I mean,
Call them.
verify that all this is on the legit. Because if the agent does not know, if you call the agent and they go, I have no idea. Now you know you have a problem. Call the lender and simply ask, what are the wiring instructions? Get a copy of the wire, match them up, and you're probably going to find the thing. And by the way, when you call the police to report it, they're not going to be any help because they really don't care.
This is not a LifeLock thing where somebody's going to fight for you until they get it back. That money is gone.
Bye. Sometimes
Gone.
I have heard a couple cases where they were able to claw it back.
For the most part, it's gone.
Bye,
So
Felicia.
it's in your court. It's your money. Let's say it's $50,000, $70,000, $80,000. We see these types of amounts that are getting taken, and
It's real money.
the attorney could be more proactive in reaching out to you. The lender could maybe hand deliver the instructions to you. But listen, it's your money. You guys have to really. We're gonna, as a lender, gonna stop sending out the wiring instructions because it's hard for us to. We would rather you just call the attorney and get them yourself because it's just a big deal.
Well,
It's a serious problem.
It is, and you got to be real careful, especially when it comes time for money. And one thing I'll tell you now, we got this question from a viewer a couple weeks ago, and I'll just go ahead and answer it now. They were asking about payoffs, right? Because it relates to this wire and everything. But what should my payoff amount be for, right? Remember that an attorney has to get clean title, has to ensure to the mortgage company that they have fully executed title. So the attorneys typically will want a day or two float in there. So in other words, tomorrow is the 15th. It also is a weekend. So if I was closing tomorrow, I'd probably be asking for a payoff at minimum through the 18th, probably the 19th. So that's why a lot of people are asking, why would we make a payoff good through some date in the future? Mm-hmm. But also remember, the mortgage company is going to... I'm glad this is David harding us.
You like that?
Yeah. So you want to make that, you will get a refund from them for any time that they haven't received. Because remember, the wire cutoffs are about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's just, these guys are figuring out how to do this. They have figured out the business. They're intercepting email addresses. They're making up email addresses, and you got to just pay attention to the stuff and look into it. Protect yourself. Take every precaution you can. That's a lot of money. A lot of money. People are losing $3 billion.
Absolutely.
In 4 months.
Absolutely. And by the way, just give everybody an update. I will be doing the show live from California next week. And then I will be doing it from Manila, Philippines. The Real Estate Happy Hour is on the road.
On the road, and I'm just going to be sitting
right here at the world headquarters. And then the following week, I will be doing the show with you live from Singapore. I'll be checking up on everything Trump did for you and seeing if we can find the Kim Jong-un spots.
Are you meeting with Kim Jong-un?
Yes.
And I think the week after that, I'll be in...
Ruby will be there.
I'll be in Orange Beach the week after that.
Hold on, but here's the funny part.
4 weeks in a row.
But here's the funny part. You think it's great. It'll be 4 in the afternoon. Hey, Ruby, what time will it be in Manila? Because we got somebody from Manila here. Ruby, what time will it be there? If it's 4 p.m. here, what time is it there? So I need to know what time I got to get up. See if she heard us. But, hey, I'm telling you, I'm willing to do it.
It's going to be nice.
The same. 3 a.m. I'm going to be up at 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
This will be a hoot.
Oh, that'll be a great one. He'll be super talkative, I'm sure.
Absolutely. That'll be, so that's 3 a.m. 30. So, Ruby.
So you get up at 2 o'clock, get some coffee.
Ruby knows my schedule.
Get an espresso.
Will I be in Manila or will we be in Palawan then?
Palawan.
Yeah.
Padawan.
Absolutely.
That's a Jedi night.
It's an island right off the coast there.
Young Padawan.
Let's see. Yes. Let's see what she says. Let's see. Harriet. Karen King, how are you? Palawan, there it is. I'll be in Palawan.
Okay.
I'm not so sure the cell coverage will be all that great, but Wi-Fi should be okay.
So we might have a guest for that when Collier's 3 a.m. in Palawan.
That's right.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
So we'll have a guest that week.
Well, next week we'll definitely
stay
see
tuned.
you. I will be. Hey, by the way, next Friday I'm probably gonna be able to walk around and show you VidCon, which is YouTube's largest conference. Be able to show you what's going on there and how it's it'll blow your mind how folks are making money in the YouTube industry.
Yeah, we'll probably be featured there.
Yeah, it'll be a few years, but we'll be there.
Yeah.
I mean, this will be huge.
Let's talk about next week, but maybe not.
Not next week.
Okay.
It'll be next year.
All right.
Anyway,
okay.
Well, we love all of you, and thank you for tuning in.
Next Thursday, more good information, man.
Same time, same place. Well, for him. All right, we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
See you later.